and then we will have gotten out of the danger zone on the highway. I don't know if we actually have money to license highway to the danger zone. Can we do that? No, because I'm not actually talking to anyone. There's no one over there, and also we have no budget. Here at Cook That Game, we've been getting pretty political lately. So today we thought we'd take a break from all of that and play a game set in a dystopic future where monopolistic megacorporations rule everything, including governments. And anyone who opposes them is pushed to the edges of society and criminalized. Also, this one has orcs, a group of people who are marginalized and oppressed based on nothing more than their appearance and outdated stereotypes about them being stupid and violent. So grab your goggles, staff and wizard hat, because today on Cook That Game, we're serving up Shadowrun Crossfire. Shadowrun Crossfire is a cooperative deck building game for 1 to 4 players, designed by Gregory Marques and James Lin. We play as runners, criminals for hire in the urban fantasy and cyberpunk world of Shadowrun. Each game, we'll choose one of these mission cards, which will lay out our victory condition and the order of play for that game. Regardless of which mission we play, our game will take place over a number of scenes, which are then divided further into a number of rounds. To begin each round, first we'll turn over a Crossfire card. This is a nasty little card that will add an ongoing complication for the rest of that round. Some Crossfire cards will only have effects that come into play if a number of Crossfire cards have been played previously. This incentivizes us to hurry up with the game because it's only going to get worse the longer it drags on. Each round proceeds in much the same way. Firstly, we'll draw a number of normal or difficult obstacles as instructed by the mission card for that game. These represent the people or things obstructing our runner and causing us harm. Then, we'll make plays from our hand, made up of cards from this deck. The cards in this deck will let us do different types of damage against the obstacles, including combat damage, skill damage, magic damage, and tech damage. Each obstacle we face takes certain kinds of damage in a certain order. This includes the different types of damage we've already discussed, as well as general damage. To defeat an obstacle, we need to do the number and types of damage shown in the correct order. So to beat this combat decker, we would need to do 1 point of general damage, a point of skill damage, 3 points of general damage, a combat damage, and a tech damage. If at any point we can't do the type of damage required, we'll need to stop attacking that obstacle and try again in a future round when we have different cards in our hand. If we manage to defeat the obstacle, we then collect a number of new yen, the game's currency, shown on that card. Any obstacles that we don't defeat will then attack us back, doing this many points of damage against our character or another character that they're facing. After damage is applied, we reload, drawing up to 3 cards in our hand, assuming that we had fewer than that at the end of the round. Then we can spend any of our new yen on new cards from the black market. This will expand our set of abilities and set us up to do more damage in future turns. Once the black market phase is done, we start a new round and do it all again. At the end of each game, if we won, we'll score karma points. We can buy these upgrade stickers, giving our runners cool new abilities for future missions, because Shadowrun Crossfire is a legacy game. So buckle up, chummers. It's time to stick it to the man in Shadowrun Crossfire. Hey folks, thank you for joining me for this single serving of Shadowrun Crossfire, where we are going to be playing an extraction mission, because that is the only one that we can play single player. So for this mission, we will be attempting to guide our client through 7 rounds. If the client is not staggered by the end of those 7 rounds, and if I haven't gone critical by the end of those 7 rounds, we win. We've got a little set of instructions for how this will progress. We've got our round counter. We've got our cool little dwarf. I'm going to be playing a decker today, so most of what I have in my little deck here are tech cards, but I've got a few other ones. I'll probably be needing to diversify this deck a little bit because we got all kinds of threats coming that I won't be able to beat with tech alone. However, the first and most important thing we need to do before we start is we need to give our runner a name. This is a brand new runner who we've never used before, so let's just grab ourselves a Sharpie. And what with this being Cook That Game, I think the little code name our runner is going to use should be the Chef. All right. The Chef is, of course, a dwarf, and as a result, we start with 5 health. We're also going to start with 2 cards in our hand, which is not very many. But we do start with 6 new yen, so we're going to be able to buy some really good cards really quickly. All right, our hand starts off with a Mark, which will do 1 tech damage, and some Street Smarts, which will do 1 skill damage. So let's hope that whatever we get for our first obstacle takes, tech and skill damage. That'd be helpful. All right, so for the first round, we flip 1 normal obstacle card. It will go immediately onto, yikes. It will go immediately onto the client, but I can choose to pull that onto me so it will do damage to me instead, which I think I'm going to do because I don't really want anything attacking my client this soon in the mission. It's my job to get him out of the danger zone. So let's hope that highway goes in both directions. Get the highway to the danger zone. Normally highways do have 2 directions, so we can take the same highway out of the danger zone is what I'm saying. I'm funny. I'm very funny. Cool. Well then, so this is our first round. I can't actually do anything to this combat drone straight out the gate because the first level of damage against it, I would need to do 4 damage. I have 2 cards doing 1 damage each, so that ain't gonna do much. If we can break through that first 4 damage, which I guess is like the hard armored shell around that drone, it gets a lot easier. We just need a tech damage, 1 of any type, a combat damage, and then 1 more of any type. So that's pretty okay. Unfortunately, that's kind of it for this first round. So I get to draw another card to draw back up to 3. It's going to do 1 damage to me, so I'm down to 4 health already. So we're off to a bit of an inauspicious start is the Chef here. We've drawn a mana card, which is not super helpful to me right now. So what I think we might want to do is buy something cool. And maybe what we will do is, I like the look of this covering fire. So that will let me choose another runner, which my client counts as a runner. That runner heals a health point. We do 1 combat damage, which we need. And we do 1 of any, just 1 general damage. Cool. This card also has an assist ability. So if there were other runners in this game, I could use that assist ability on their turn to have a cool effect. There aren't any other runners in this game, so that's not going to come into play. So that's going to cost me 5 new yen. I am now quite broke. Ooh. No, we'll get that later. Okay, well that's the end of the first round. Now, we draw 2 cards and we flip a hard obstacle card. So we've got 2 more cards. We don't take them from the black market. That would be cheating. I've started cheating very early this game. We draw them from our deck. We get a quick shot, which is a combat damage, Oh, and an icon grab. Okay, icon grab is very cool. So that's one of the other, I wouldn't normally start with this in my deck, but because I'm playing this game solo, it just gives me that extra little boost. So if I play another hacking card anytime during this turn, I can use an icon grab to deal one of any other kind of damage as well. That's going to come in really, really handy, because I do have a lot of hacking cards in that deck. All right, and now we get a hard obstacle, which is this, ooh, a chromed samurai. That's a lot of damage, and that's a lot of damage that they do. Yikes. Layer of 4 general damage, some tech, some combat, 2 more general, some magic, 2 more general, and some more combat is what it's going to take to deal with them. What I might do is leave them on the client just for the moment, because at the end of this round, we're both going to heal a health point. I can then, and then the scene will end. So this will actually get discarded anyway. So I think I can make that work. Yikes. Okay, well, this just got real nasty. However, now we are in a situation to do some damage. So the way doing damage in this game works, we'll play as many cards as we want from our hand. That'll just create a big pool of damage that then we can start allocating to these levels. We don't have to sort of play cards in order. So I think what we want is we want to do this icon grab and a mark. So that gives us 2 tech damage plus 1 of any other kind. So we've already got 3 damage. We will play this covering fire, because that will do 1 combat damage and 1 general damage. So that's already given us our 4 and our tech. Let's play a mana card, because we're not going to need that in a hurry. In fact, I think I might just need to play pretty much everything from my hand to break through here. So let's do that. Okay, now we need to do some maths, and you know, it's not my strong suit. Let's see how we go. All right, so with our icon grab, we're doing 2 damage, 3 damage, 4. We'll use, yep, so that's 4 damage through that first level. Use the mark, do another tech damage. Use the covering fire, that will do a general damage and a combat damage. And then we use our mana, we do 1 last damage. We have taken that light combat drone out. It took everything we had, so that got a little bit nasty, but it is going to pay us 6 new yen for the privilege of blowing it up to pieces. So that brings us up to 7. So all of this goes to our discards. There are no enemies in front of my runner, so I don't take any damage just now, but the client is going to take 2 damage, which is pretty bad. That could affect my bonus. But so long as he lives, I still get paid, and that's what matters. We've got 7 new yen to spend. We probably need, so we get 3 cards in our hand. All of them marks. Yikes. And we've got 7 new yen to spend. We might buy, maybe we'll buy this coordinated attack. No, that's not great, because that lets you choose another runner. That runner draws a card and then immediately plays a card. I have no other runners with me right now. I've just got a client who has no cards and cannot attack, so probably not super useful. This Death Touch could be okay. It's 2 magic damage, but then it's reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, then put them back on top. You'll get extra damage for the number of spell cards. I only have this 1 spell card in my entire deck. That's hardly ever going to help me. But I might need magic damage at some point. I don't have enough for this hero move, which is a real shame, because that's, you know, 4 damage just on its own, and then each runner draws a card. So maybe I'm going to want to save up for that a little bit. But what I might get just for now is this retrieval agent. That's going to cost me 4. I can then return a hacking card from my discard to my hand when I play it. So that's also going to let me pull my icon grab out of my discards and use it again every round I get this card. So a big part of getting this game to winning this game is just starting to build some card combos in your deck that you can start to execute repeatedly. That's going to cost me 4, so I get rid of a 5 and I grab this 1. Okay, and we are into the new round. Now, I haven't turned over any Crossfire cards yet either, because one of the other benefits you get from a single player game is you get 3 free turns before you start turning over Crossfire cards. We are now in the 3rd round, so after this round, it's all going to get a whole lot harder. Now, we also, in this round, the client and I each heal a health point, so that's useful. Then, however, we flip another hard obstacle. So it's immediately going to go for the client. Yikes, that's a gargoyle. That will require 2 lots of 6 damage and then 2 combat damage to take out. Okay, so I don't really want the client to take 4 damage in 1 round, because then we lose the game immediately. But I don't especially want to take 4 damage in 1 round either. I'm going to pull this chromed samurai over onto me, so we'll take 2 damage each at the end of this round. Oh boy, this has escalated very quickly, you may notice. We're about to start taking a whole mess of damage, but we do have some opportunities to fight back here. So we're going to play our 3 marks and a retrieval agent. The retrieval agent lets me go into my discards and pull out this icon grab, and we'll play that as well. So straight out of the gate, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tech damage, and I can turn, thanks to the icon grab, I can get 1 of any other kind of damage as well. So I'll turn that into a, what do you call it? A combat damage. So immediately this chromed samurai will get 4 taken off, plus a tech damage, plus a combat damage. So a sizable dent in that target, not enough to take it out though. But that is okay, because at the end of round 3, oh, hang on a sec, I gain 2 new yen and can buy a card from the black market, and scene 1 will end at the end of this round. So I should have had 2 more new yen, and I could have bought 1 more card into my deck. Not that it's actually going to matter for beating any of these targets. So maybe I just won't buy anything and I'll save my pennies. So that's the other thing that I probably need to reconsider here. I could do all this damage to the Chrome Samurai, but then there's no point because the scene is going to end. These 2 cards are going to get discarded. I might as well just hold on to my actually not terribly bad hand that has some cool stuff in there. So, slight change of plan. We're not even going to fight this Chrome Samurai. We're just going to run from them, take some damage on each of us, which is a really bad time. So, when a scene ends in Shadowrun Crossfire, we get to take a breather. So firstly, we discard any enemies that we did not defeat. We get no reward from them, but they've gone away and will stop doing damage to us. Then we each heal a health point. And finally, we get to go shopping, which is always the most fun. What I might buy for myself here is spend 4 new yen to get this sniper rifle. Now, the sniper rifle doesn't do normal damage. It just does the last 2 levels of damage to any target. So no matter what the requirement is, no matter how tough they are, it will just get rid of those last 2 levels. Before something gets down to the last 2 levels though, it doesn't do anything. So still a very handy card to have. Now, round 4. We've escaped the first scene. Now, we also start getting Crossfire cards, so this could escalate very quickly. We've got professional problems. At the start of each turn, the current runner reveals a card from the top of the normal obstacle deck. If its color matches their main role color, which will be green because I'm a decker, place it facing that runner, otherwise discard it. So we've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting an extra enemy every single round because apparently I've got professional problems. Someone don't like me very much. All right, we now need to draw 3 cards, so I get 3 more cards from my deck. That's pretty great. We're also going to get to heal some health points, which is also quite good. So we're adding our Covering Fire, our Street Smarts, and our Mana back to our hand. That's pretty great. I now have a nice fat stack of cool things I can do. That's going to be really handy because the other thing we're doing is flipping a hard obstacle card, which will go here. We have an Aztlan veteran who is also very nasty. And when it's flipped, the runner with the most health points takes a damage. Kind of fortunately here, I have the most health on 4. My client only has 3, but that means that I'm going to take a hit. Now, because of my professional problems, I'm also going to flip a card from here. If this is green, I'm going to have to deal with them as well. Oh boy, that's not good. This guy also has a flipped effect, but it's only if I've had 2 or more Crossfire cards already come into play. Fortunately, I haven't. Not that it would have mattered, because I'm a dwarf. That's helpful. Each non-dwarf runner facing a green obstacle would have discarded a card. I am a dwarf runner facing a green obstacle. You know, could be worse. Yikes. These ones do 2 damage each, so I have to put down at least one of them this round. I don't think I can afford more damage on my client just at the moment, so I'm going to bring this Aztlan veteran over to me as well. Now I need to do some figuring as to which ones I can take out. This Wired Merc has a lot of general damage and some tech and combat damage. This Aztlan veteran has a whole lot of general damage, even more general damage. Wow, that's tough. And some skill damage. So I think I've probably got a better chance of taking out the Wired Merc. On top of that, he's going to give me 11 new yen to spend when I take him out. So that'll let me buy some really awesome cards that I can use in future turns. It would actually set me up with this hero move that I could then use to take out the Aztlan veteran. I like the sound of that. All right, so we're definitely going to put our Covering Fire into play because that'll let us heal up our client a little bit. I think there is a good chance we'll want this sniper rifle. We'll see how we go. So we need to do 4 damage and then attack damage. See, our Retrieval Agent is less useful here because now our Icon Grabbers had to be shuffled back into our deck, so it's not in our discards. That's a real shame, but it is still 2 damage, which, you know, I kind of need that. All right, let's see what we've got here. So we need 4 damage and then attack damage. So we might just go 1, 2, 3, 4. That takes out our first level of damage against our Wired Merc. We then need attack damage, which that mark will do. Then we need 3 more. So we can do 1, 2, 3, and that also gets us our combat damage. And then very helpfully, our sniper rifle will do the last 2 levels of damage. Bam, bam. So long, Wired Merc. I did not care for your untimely intervention in this fight. Boom. That also gives me 11 new yen, which is good. We get to heal our client up, which is good. That all goes to my discards. And then that as well. So I've got 12 new yen to play with. I'm going to have a very, very enjoyable turn. I then draw 3 cards, which is of course the only 3 cards remaining in my deck, and I get to go shopping. I'm definitely taking this hero move, because that'll let me draw a card and do 4 damage on its own, which is amazing. That's going to cost me 9. I might buy this other icon grab as well, because you can never have too many icon grabs. Particularly if you get 2 in one hand, because then they pair off each other and it's just cool. You're doing lots of extra damage. Damage is good, so long as it's to them and not to me, obviously. Speaking of, I am going to take 2 hits from this Aztlan veteran, so that hurts and I do not care for it. I'm going to buy that. So I have bought 11 new yen worth of stuff this round. I've got a pretty funky deck right now. That is the end of round 4. We're into round 5. We only need to make it through a few more rounds, and then we will have gotten out of the danger zone on the highway. I don't know if we actually have money to license highway to the danger zone. Can we hire? Can we do that? No, because I'm not actually talking to anyone. There's no one over there. And also, we have no budget. Cool. Start of round 5. First thing we need is a new Crossfire card. The attack strength of each green obstacle and red obstacle is increased by 1. Holy hell. That's pretty brutal. So that is an extra damage from this Aztlan veteran. And if I end up with any green obstacles this round, they'll also get +1 damage. That's looking bad for me. Fortunately, we don't have 4 or more Crossfire cards out already, or each green obstacle and red obstacle would also heal all damage. So that would really suck. Okay, what are our instructions for round 5? The client and I each heal 2 health. That's good. I like that a lot. Flip 2 normal obstacle cards. Oh look, it's a green obstacle. It's really great. And another red obstacle. So each of them is also doing +1 damage. This is horrendous. Wow, they would do 5 damage, which should be enough to take out the client straight away. This Aztlan veteran is going to do enough damage to stagger me. Here's the thing about getting staggered though. No matter how much extra damage you take when you get staggered, it doesn't overflow. So if I take 3 damage, I get staggered. If I take 10 damage, I still only go to staggered. I would need to take more damage after that to go critical. Yeah, okay. The scene is also going to end after this round, so I will get to heal. So what I might do is protect the client, bring all of this onto me. Wow, I may yet live to regret this. We'll see how we go. At the end, I do gain 2 new yen and can make another buy from the black market, but I can't afford. The only things I can afford from the black market with 3 new yen are these black market contacts, which just let me make another buy from the black market, which it's okay, but it's not great. It does a social damage, but I've got my hero move. I can only buy a guiding spirit if I played a spell card this turn, which I have not done. But that would let me discard my hand if I do draw that many cards. Again, not super useful to me because I've just got a great stack of cards right now. So I think instead of that, I'm just going to take the extra new yen and plow on through this turn. So the good news this round is the client is going to take no damage because there's nothing facing him. The bad news is I'm going to take a lot of damage. What I do want to do, however, is bring down as many of these as I can to get the most reward. I do have this Demolitions Expert. When they're defeated, they deal a level of damage to another obstacle. Pretty cool. Yeah, okay. The Aztlan Decker. When the Aztlan Decker attacks, it also attacks the Decker. I am the Decker anyway, and it's facing me. Okay, let's look at doing some hurt to these here bad guys. Now, we have 2 icon grabs, which are gonna ping off each other and give us an extra damage of any type I want. Although I've already got... So if I'm going to go after this Demolitions Expert, which seems like a good choice, I only need a social and a combat. We're going to use 3 off this and save 1 social to do that. We're going to use the Icon Grab to do 2 damage. I'm going to use the remaining social off this, or skill damage I should say, off this to do that level of damage. We then use an Icon Grab. We then use a Quick Shot. Cool. We've dealt with this Demolitions Expert, which is great. I don't have enough firepower to deal with anyone else, so that's a pity, but I'll hold on to this mark in my hand anyway. These are all going to go to my discards. This Demolitions Expert is toast, which is going to give me 8 new yen. However, here's the bad bit. Because of this Crossfire card, enemy comms, each of these is doing an extra damage. That is going to be 5 damage that I take, which is going to be enough to stagger me. So, getting staggered is all bad. A few things happen. Firstly, I grab my hand and my discard and my deck and I shuffle them all together. That means I now have no cards remaining in my hand. While I'm shuffled, while I'm staggered, while I'm shuffled, I'm ruffled, I am not shuffled, and I'm staggered. I am many things. It's not looking good for the chef. He is having a very bad day. A lot of people are shooting him a lot. While I'm staggered, I only draw 1 card, which will be this Icon Grab. I also don't get to take a black market phase this turn, which sucks. Because there are so many great cards there that I want to buy with all these fat stacks of new yen that I have, and I don't get to. However, that timed out kinda well because the scene just ended. So, they're going to go away and we do get to take our second breather of the game. When we take a breather, we recover a health. That's great because it means I'm no longer staggered. I also get to go shopping. So even though I didn't get to go shopping on my turn, I can go shopping during the breather. It has worked out about as well as it possibly could have for me, if I'm to be honest with you. Unfortunately, this black market is not as good as I kind of thought it was. Pair programming only really helps me if there are other runners, which there are not. Coordinated attack only really helps me if there are other runners. Death Touch and Guiding Spirit mean I need to have spell cards, which I don't. So I might just have to start by buying this Retrieval Agent and hope something else good comes out. Oh, what has come out is very good. This Monofilament Whip does some really cool things. At a cost of only 2, I can move 1 obstacle facing another runner to face me. If I play another weapon card anytime during this turn, that obstacle then can't attack this turn. So if I set up obstacles facing the client, I can use this card to pull them away, and so long as I've got 1 other weapon card, which I won't this round but I might in the future, they then won't get to attack. They'll be too tangled up by my whip. So that's great. We're going to pay 2 for that. What else is coming out of this deck? Clairvoyance. Draw a card, then discard a card. Also only costs 2. Gets me another spell. Those are all pretty good things. I think I'll take Clairvoyance as well. This shopping trip is looking up. 3 new yen left. Okay, I have run out of things that I can either afford, can use, or am allowed to buy. So, we have 2 rounds left to go. The client is in very good shape. The chef is not. So it is, I think, time for the client to take a few hits for the team. Okay, start of round 6. I get to draw 4 cards from my deck, which is awesome. We do, however, have to get a new Crossfire. 4 more cards from my deck. That is a whole stack of really handy stuff. Flip 2 hard obstacles and a normal obstacle. These are the last 2 rounds. These are the last 2 big pushes I need to make, and this game is not going to make it easy for me. We have unusual suspects. We have a Fomorian mage. Fortunately, neither of them has a flip effect, so that's useful. Of course, now I've said that, the normal obstacle I flip is going to turn out to just have the worst flip effect and absolutely stuff my chances of winning this game. Okay, that's actually not so bad. The Spirit of Air, when a Spirit of Air attacks, it also attacks the mage unless it's already facing that runner. Now, technically, because I'm the only runner here, I count as the Decker and the Mage and the Street Samurai and the Face. So whatever that does, it's going to attack me as well. So I probably need to do something kind of drastic about it. In fact, I probably need to deal with at least one of these, because at the moment, they're going to do enough damage to take out my client. And even if they don't take out the client, if I move one of them onto me, it's going to take out me. Let's see what we can figure out here. Got a whole lot of cards. We've got both icon grabs, which is good. We do have clairvoyance. So if you recall, at the start of any round, I can move a target off the client onto me. I'm not going to do that, because if anyone attacks me, I get staggered, and then I'm only drawing 1 card, and I'm not getting to buy anything, and we are just screwed. I have my monofilament whip. I have a retrieval agent. We're going to do something really kind of cool here. Because we can activate these cards in any order we want, we're going to use clairvoyance to draw a card, then discard a card. So we're going to draw our quick shot. That's good. That's something I wanted. We're going to draw our mark. That's also pretty good. We might also keep drawing. There's some other things I think I can do here. I'm going to get rid of... Yeah, okay. We're going to stop there, unfortunately. It didn't work out quite how I was hoping. But the 3 cards we discard are going to be my mana, my... Oh, actually, we can make this work. We can make this work in a really entertainingly clever way. It was the mark. I was really hoping my sniper rifle was going to come out of that deck, because that would have helped me a lot this round, but we'll just have to live without it. So what we're going to get rid of is our mana, our icon grab, our other icon grab, and our clairvoyance. And you might say, but wait, Sam, why would you get rid of your icon grabs? They're really useful. The reason I'm getting rid of my icon grabs is because I have these retrieval agents that let me return a hacking card from my discards. So while I've discarded those icon grabs to get more cards out of my deck, they're coming straight back to me. Okay, chummers, let's throw down, because I got some stuff to bring at you. That was epic. Okay, few effects that we're going to trigger first. Because we're using our quick shot and our monofilament whip, I've played another weapon card during this turn. I can move... Oh, wait. Before we do that, let's see how bad this gets. It's getting real. It sure is. When obstacles attack, they also deal their attack strength in damage to the next runner clockwise they're facing, which is me. Okay, so this Crossfire card is really, really bad, because it means that every one of these that attacks the client is also going to attack me. That's going to cause me to be staggered, which means I'm not going to be able to really fight effectively next round, and then we're going to lose. So I need a way to make sure nothing attacks at all this round. And I don't... Ooh, can I do it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, this is the hardest one to take out. So what I'm going to do is use the special ability of my monofilament whip It's going to move across to me, and we're just going to put this marker on it to remind us that it doesn't get to attack this turn. I'm not going to be able to get both of these out. I might be in big trouble here, folks, because I discarded Clairvoyance. And I shouldn't have, because that was a magic damage that I was going to need to take out both of these. This is why you should do things in the correct order, because if I'd flipped that, if I'd flipped It's Getting Real before I did all my card stuff, which is what you're meant to do when you play the game properly, I would have known I needed to hang on to Clairvoyance. Of course, because I did things in the wrong order, what I might have done instead... Don't tell anyone. This is my one shot at winning. You know, I don't know if you're all here to see me lose. Possibly you are all here to see me lose, you strange sadists. But I kind of want to win for you, if I can. I'm still not sure I can. It's going to be close. All right, so what's the total amount of damage we have to play with? It's 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have this horrible feeling I'm going to be exactly one short of the amount of damage I need to do. That would be just the worst. It would be the absolute worst. Let's see how we go. Okay, to take out this unusual suspect, we need to do 4 general damage. So we will use our 2 retrieval agents to do that 4 damage. We need to do a mana damage. Let's do that with this Clairvoyance. We need to do 2 general damage, which I'm going to take off this hero move. And we'll hang on to the 2 skill damage for when that comes up. We'll use a mark to do that. We will use 1 of the skill damage to do that. We'll use a mark to do that. We will use the remaining skill damage on that hero move to do that. Those unusual suspects are done. What we have left is 2 icon grabs, a monofilament whip, and a quick shot. The icon grabs are going to do 2 tech damage. I'm 1 short of the amount of damage I need to do. This is very upsetting to me, everyone. 2 damage from the tech, 1 from that, 1 from that is 4. I need 5 to break through. I can get the 2 magic damage I need from my icon grabs, but it's not going to be quite enough because I can't break through the Spirit of Air. So what I'm going to have to do is do an extra damage with the icon grab and a magic damage. That leaves this thing with 1 magic damage remaining. And then I'm all out of cards for this round. So now things become quite bad. The client, he just takes 1 damage. He's just getting faced by a Spirit of Air. That's fine. But thanks to It's Getting Real, the Spirit of Air is going to attack me and stagger me. All my cards now get reshuffled, leaving me with nothing in my hand. I had nothing in my hand anyway. It's not a big deal. What is a big deal, however, is that while being staggered, I only get to draw 1 card. Normally I would get to draw 3. The one I draw is my monofilament whip. That's kind of cool. I should have gotten 4 new yen from beating those unusual suspects. That gives me 7 new yen, which would have been really useful for buying some more cards to get me through this last round. But because I'm staggered, I don't get to make a buy round. It also gets worse, because if I take any more damage, I will go to critical. And if I go to critical, we fail this mission. I need to make it through one more round, and I don't think I have any way to heal. If I had gotten literally anything other than those marks out of my deck, if I had gotten my covering fire that does 2 damage, if I had gotten my sniper rifle, which just takes off 2 levels, I could probably have done this, but I'm not actually sure that I can anymore. Let's play it out. Let's see me ignominiously defeated by this bloody game. All right. And unfortunately, I don't believe I can move things back onto my client. Flipped obstacles start facing the client, but the runners can protect the client. At the start of each runner's turn, if they are not exhausted, the current runner can move one obstacle facing the client to face them instead, if that obstacle's color matches their role color. This choice must be made before any obstacle abilities trigger. Yep. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? My job is to protect the client, and I can't protect the client by moving an enemy back in front of them to shoot them a bit so that they don't shoot me. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. Okay, well, this is going to be a very quick final turn. I have my 1 card. I play my 1 card. It does 1 damage. That is not enough to do a level of damage to either the Fomorian Mage or the Spirit of Air. That means the Spirit of Air is going to attack the client, bring him down to 3. He's fine. But this Fomorian Mage is going to... Oh, wait. Wait a gosh darn minute. This is why you read everything on all of your cards. I am going to be okay. Yes, I am going to be okay. Because when I defeat the unusual suspects, I choose 2 different runners. One heals an HP, the other draws a card. I choose myself to heal an HP, which means, if we back this up a little bit, shuffled back into my regular deck. So all that should have been in my discards. I could have healed an HP, which means this, when the Spirit of Air attacked, it only would have taken me down to 1, not down to staggered, which means I wasn't staggered, which means I was drawing 3 cards from this deck. A 1, a 2, a 3. That's a bit more like it. And I do get to spend my 7 new yen, which is going to buy me a Death Touch, which will cost me 4. This has been a real exercise in why you should pay attention to every part of a game while playing it. I can also... Do I want to buy a negotiation? The next time you buy a skill card this turn, pay 1 less new yen for each skill card you played this turn. I'm not going to have another buy around. It's not really going to matter. I did play a spell card, so I can buy this Guiding Spirit. I can discard my hand if I do draw that many cards. That's kind of cool in some ways. Okay, now that we have backtracked and done it properly, we are in a much better situation. We may yet win this. The Spirit of Air has got 1 health left. The Fomorian Mage has a lot of health left, but if it attacks me, it's only going to bring me down to staggered, which is not going to stop me winning the game. Unless I get completely hosed by the last Crossfire card of the game, we might win. Separated. Runners can't play cards during another runner's turn. That's fine. In addition, runners can't apply damage to obstacles facing other runners if we've had 4+. We have not had 4+, we've only had 3. So I can still attack things facing other runners. That's good. I think, if I've done my maths correctly, friends, I am about to win. Let me check that this is how we go. Okay. I've got my Death Touch. I've got my Street Smarts, I've got my Guiding Spirit, I've got my Mark, and I have got my Sniper Rifle. Now, Death Touch is going to do extra damage for any spells revealed from the top 3 cards of my deck. That's not a spell, but that's okay. There's a couple of spells in here now. This could actually work. Maybe I'll do a little bit of extra damage. Nope. Yes, okay. Death Touch is doing 3 damage. That's pretty cool. Here's how we're going to play this, everyone. Guiding Spirit is going to do 1 magical damage. Spirit of Air, done. Pays me 6 new yen, doesn't matter, I don't have another buy around this game. Can I actually beat everything? That's going to be the real trick. There's 1 remaining damage from this Spirit of Air. There's 1 general damage from this Death Touch. We need 5 to get through this first layer. So we're going to do another 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can't actually beat this one because we would have needed 1 more damage. Then we'd have done a Street Smarts to hit that. Then we would have done the magic damage. Yeah, there is 0 chance I can do enough damage. But the good news is it doesn't matter. Because I got that extra health from dealing with the unusual suspects, rather than going critical from the damage I'm about to get from the Fomorian Mage, I am instead just going to get staggered. Now, getting staggered is not a whole lot of fun generally, but staggered is not critical. And because I haven't gone critical, I haven't failed the mission, and I have survived round 7, which means this client and I are bugging out. We win. Thank you, friends. I've actually won a solo game now. This is very exciting. Obviously, I didn't win Set a Watch in the video of Vengeance that we haven't posted. Watch the Sam Has Opinions About Politics and Gaming if you want to understand why we didn't post a video that we had basically filmed. Didn't win that either, but we did win Shadowrun Crossfire. Thank you everyone for joining me for this single serving. It is deeply thrilling to finally be winning games on my own channel. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know if you enjoy single serving. Now we've done a couple of them. There is still, of course, a global pandemic, so we'll probably be doing a few more of these. And I will see you at the table.